Welcome to the Dive Heart First podcast, where we cut out the fluff so that we can get to the heart of the matter. I'm your host, Jenn Walker, and if you've been here for a while, you might have noticed that I've been chopping and changing up the intro from time to time. And the reason being is I have no idea where this podcast is headed. Might sound weird, but the truth is, I have so much on my head and my heart that I want to get out there and express. And with time, and already, I'm starting to get some clarity of where this podcast might be heading. So I'm just really interested to see what comes out, what is of interest to you, what I get fired up with and love to rant about on this podcast. And with time, things will become clear. And in time, things will get specified and I'll start focusing on things and get deeper. So I tell you all this to just give you like a behind the scenes look of the process here, kind of bringing you inside the inside joke. And it also leads me to the topic today. In this podcast right now, I'm in full test mode, in full play mode. And today's topic is for new coaches. So, new coaches that are looking to build a thriving coaching business. So, recently, where the inspiration for this came from is I was having a connection call with a new person, and she's a new coach, and she was actually interested in asking me what courses I might recommend to her. And when we started talking and I asked her a couple questions, turns out she's already done a full coaching certification, and she's also done like a business marketing for coaches course or already been through it. And so I remember she was saying all this and I almost like abruptly interrupted her with a nope. So with humor and with a lot of love, I said, nope, no more courses. You're ready and get going. Start. Because the truth is, clarity comes within the action, and you learn and you grow as you go. So then I went into a bit of a rant where I first asked permission if it'd be okay if I gave some unsolicited advice about starting a coaching business, which she willingly accepted. So this is what today's episode is going to be about. So this episode is great for new coaches starting out. It's also great for coaches that have been in this for a long time, like myself, as I come back to this same formula every single time I create a new offer. So mastery is practicing the basics over and over and over again. And for me, right now, this stuff is top of mind because I'm going to be creating a new offer. It's coming out in September, something I'm very excited about. It's based on the last 5 years and everything that I've learned in the last 5 years. And I've literally started to cozy up right to this stuff right again. So with that, let's get into it. So first off, what I always recommend is to create your irresistible offer. And when you're creating your irresistible offer, you want to think first of like who it's for. And spoiler alert, it's usually you 3 to 5 years ago. So think of something that was a really big challenge or that you were struggling with that you got through, and now you're on the other side of it. Okay, so usually that is your ideal client. And the best thing about that is that you were your first client through this offer or program. So when you have that, you can cozy up to what I like to call the A to the B. And the A is the starting point, or also referred to as the bathroom floor moment. I actually like to refer to it as the basement floor moment. And what I mean by that is when I started my coaching business, I had a basement floor moment. I was living in this crappy little basement apartment in Toronto, and I was in the fetal position, bawling my eyes out on the cold hard tile floor of that basement. And it was my breaking point. It was enough where enough was enough. And that is when I made the commitment to myself to really make big changes in my life. And that was the starting point. So the A is the starting point where people are at their breaking point. And because you've been there yourself, you know exactly how it feels. You know exactly the thoughts that were running through your head. And you also know specifics about the external circumstances. So that is the starting point, the A. And then what's the B? So where are you now? What is the destination, or what I like to call the bright sunny day that you're now enjoying? So how does it feel now that you're on the other side of it? What does it look like, sound like, feel like all that stuff, painting the picture. How do you feel on a daily basis? What do you think about? And what is your external circumstance like now? So then when we have the A and B, people are really interested more in anything in this destination, and they could care less about the transportation. So if you think about you booked a trip to Hawaii, you're really interested in getting to Hawaii. You might not care so much about how you get there, like what airline you take. You're just interested in getting there the most pain-free and fastest way. So that's where I see a lot of coaches getting it wrong is they're focusing on the transportation, like the things that are going to be in the program, which might be interesting to some people, but it's definitely not important for most. So really focusing on what is this destination. And then for you, because you've already been through this program, you know what worked for you along that way, what didn't work for you, and you know all the little mini milestones. So, what I mean by that is you knew what you were interested in, this B, this bright sunny day. And then along the way, there were like these mini results that just happened as like a happy accident or byproduct of that. So, if we use the Hawaii example, maybe we're really interested in getting to Hawaii, but we have all these amazing experiences along the way with our shuttle driver and like a connection there and I don't know, like a great conversation. So like all these mini results that are this happy accident of getting to the overall big result that you were interested in. So great. Once you have that, you also want to think about all the bad advice out there. So, what was all the bad advice that led you to that bathroom floor, basement floor moment? What is all the advice and the big narratives, the noise that's out there now that have really been keeping people stuck? And how is what you do going to be different and disrupt that and break that through? So, that's really good to cozy up to so you can have like this like passion about getting this service or product out there. So fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Then the value of the irresistible offer really comes from getting people from A to B in a faster way. So condensing or collapsing that timeline. So reducing the time and reducing the effort it takes for people to get there. So say that you've gone through this process and it took you 5 years and you can shorten it to a few months. That's what people are going to pay for. They're also, you've tried and tested everything out there. You've done so many different things, spending so much time, money, effort, and they don't have to. So you're going to make it a heck of a lot easier for them and more potent and powerful for them. And the last thing is thinking about giving them the support that you didn't have. So you know full well what you would have just thrown money at if you could have had that support. You are becoming that support for that person and collapsing the time that they take and the effort that they take to get on the other side of that. So once you have all that, fantastic. You want to think about the duration, you want to think about the frequency and how the program will be delivered. The best way to think about this is to think about the A to the B and on average, how long and how many sessions and what does that look like to get that result for the majority of people, or at least at the end are on their way. They have the systems in place to get to the desired results. I've tried everything. I've done a month program, 6 week program, 2 month program, 3 month program. I've tried it all. What I would recommend right now, if you don't know, is just test out 3 month program. So 3 month program, why I like that is it takes about 21 to 66 days to fire and wire new neural pathways, to really get that in there, and new habits and behaviors. So that's a great sweet spot. And so you have that third month to really like put repetition, repetition, repetition. But within the program, people will already start seeing results, which gives more motivation, and more momentum going forward. So I really do love that 3 month mark. It's a good kind of like start in point for most people as you get to know people. And the truth is, your life can look totally unrecognizable in 3 months. So it's a good period of time to have results, but it's not like forever. And so it allows people to be like, okay, there is an end date. So I'm really going to put this into priority for 3 months and really focus on this, as I know it's going to be over. So anyway, I give you that. Take it or leave it with all this information. Like, always tune into like what's right for you. But if you don't know, just default into the 90 days. And how I like to do things is I actually do 10 sessions within that 90 days or 3 months. And what that looks like for me and how I deliver it is in person. Not in person, my bad, over Zoom. Sometimes I do in person, but mostly over Zoom. So I do online delivery. It's a 1 hour session once a week for 3 weeks, then a break. And the break is the integration week. And like powerful things, amazing things happen in the space in between. So I really like that method. So I do 3 sessions the first month, 3 sessions the second month, 3 sessions the third month. And then I always do a little bonus session. And that's the 10th session. And that's usually for me, I do something special. So it's different every time. A lot of times it's like doing a recorded meditation. So they take everything that we did within the program or what they're on to next, and I have something that they can listen to further the subconscious mind is supporting their next level. So just a little FYI of what I usually do when I think of duration, when I think of frequency, and when I think of deliverability. I also have like WhatsApp chat with all my clients. So in between the sessions, they can reach out. Different programs have offered different things in the form of like workbooks or emails, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So once you have all that, and again, like this, creating your irresistible offer, you're still in this like noodle phase. So you really don't know if it's going to work out. But what do you think? What do you think at this point? And start jotting it down. And then the last thing you want to do is like a brief outline. So you have the duration, you have the frequency, and just write down like, oh yeah, I'm going to go through this exercise or this technique or this concept or blah, blah, blah. And just kind of roughly just map it out of what the whole program might look like. And then when you have that, you're gonna take it out and you're gonna practice selling it. And this is where you take it out and you're interested in getting 3 to 5 beta clients to run and test this offer. And why I say get out there in real life is we don't want you hiding behind a computer or marketing or anything like that, because this is like vital. This is such invaluable feedback that you get in real time. So just how I'm like playing around with and flubbing the intro to this podcast, you're going to get out there and you're going to start sharing with people like, hey, I have this offer. I'm looking for some beta clients. And you're going to describe it in a way that will get a lot of questions. And you're like, oh, I get it. Like that wasn't clear. You're going to get curious in your mind of like, oh, where do these people hang out? and you're going to get very clear, like spotting the ideal client for this program of like when you talk to them and you ask them certain questions. It's just invaluable, infallible, instant feedback. You're also going to get to a point of knowing whether or not this is an offer or service that people are looking for. So you're already in the process of validating this offer, and you'll find out really quickly if no one's interested in this. And so if you can't get 3 to 5 beta clients, you don't have a strong offer, and then you can start back in the first step. So get out there in real life, meet people, share your offer. And then typically for new coaches, I recommend that you do this completely free. If for me, like, and for other people that have been doing this for a while, you might do like beta pricing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you decide to do. Just make sure that there's an exchange, an equal exchange. So when I first started my coaching business and I was taking on clients for free, I did that because the exchange was two things: having 100% commitment. So the people that I was taking people through these beta programs were like, wanted this. So it was a heck yes, 100% heck yes. And so they weren't just doing it so that they were doing it for me, they were doing it for themselves. And when I would sell this opportunity to them, I'd be like, yep, I'm interested. I always say guinea pigs. I'm looking for guinea pigs to take through this offer. And what I would love in exchange is honest, brutal, honest feedback so that I can make improvements upon this program to make it the best program in the planet. Right. So, yeah, really see there when you play with language, how you play with presenting this, the language will start to come, it will start to flow. And all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, that's how I can explain that. Oh, that's a good question. Like you'll know what kind of questions come up for people. So you'll be answering those questions before the next person even were to ask them. So fantastic. You have all that. You have the 3 to 5 beta clients that are interested to run through this program. And now you are going to over deliver. So you pour into these people 200, 300% more than what you ever would, and you have the time. So you're not wasting your time on any other efforts and marketing something that you don't even have yet. You're focusing in on these people, and with that, every time you get on a call with them, they're going to give you feedback through questions, and they're going to do exercises that they might do wrong. So you know you need to like tweak it so that it's more clear. So this is where typically for beta programs, I do recommend doing it one-on-one first, even if you plan to take this to a group model. Again, for the instant feedback. The only way I would recommend you do that differently, if you know you're a very proficient group facilitator. That is a skill and an art that is truly, like, I find very challenging. In a group scenario, you might lose people and you don't even know that you've lost them. Also, it's tough for people to speak up. Sometimes when they don't know, like when they have questions and you don't get that like raw, honest, like, oh, I don't understand this, the same way that you do with one-on-one. So you're going to over deliver. You are going to tweak and grow as you go. I love this. Like whenever I get into beta, like these people get the best of me. I become obsessed with them. I become obsessed with the material. It's like what I think about, sleep about, like dream about everything. So it's fascinating. Like, I know for me, whenever I'm going through a beta program, if I have a question that I don't know, you're doing extra research. This is where you learn. You're like, oh, I have a skill set here that I'm lacking. And that's when you plug and place it in. And anyway, I love this process and everything that you get to learn through taking people through this offer. So once you have all that, also you're going to ask for feedback. I highly suggest an onboarding intake form and an extensive offboarding feedback form and intervals in between feedback. And I actually threw together something for you so you can get an example of questions that I might ask and that might be useful for you to ask. So I've put that in the link below so you can just click that link and get those questions so you can see how they might be valuable. So they're questions of like how to improve upon your program constantly. And there's also questions to get into the nitty-gritty of what the person's experiencing. And that will be used later for how you express this program to others through marketing or the words that you say to others. Okay. So once you have all that, you have over delivered, you've gotten in with the nitty gritty, then you're going to see whether or not you have proof of concept. This is where most people miss proof of concept, proof of concept, proof of concept. And you gotta be really honest with yourself. So the first thing with actually proof of concept, because you're a coach and this is going to be what you do the most, I would first check in of whether or not you like it. So do you love this? Is this the niche you want to focus in? Is it the people you want to focus in? Like, do you love the offer that you created? If not, I would start right back from the beginning. It's not worth it. It will die out if you don't love it. So are you in love with the program that you created and ran people through? So that's the first test. Then you want to see if it got results. And so, you're collecting all the feedback from the people. And still, people are really kind and nice, and giving harsh feedback is kind of hard, or just even giving generalized feedback is kind of tough. So, litmus test here is behavior is the most honest language. So in this program, if people are getting outstanding results and they love what's in the program and they love you and everything, referrals will already start coming in. These people, these 3 to 5 clients will start asking you, how can I refer X, Y, and Z to you? Also, with results, people in their life will start asking these clients, like, what are you doing differently? And through conversation, it will come out, oh, I'm working with this coach, we're doing X, Y, and Z. And people in the peripheral will start asking them for your number. So that is right there, the biggest proof of concept of whether or not you even have an offer. And this is kind of tough love here. If you don't have that, you don't have it. So then, say you don't have it yet, and you're not getting this influx of inquiries about how can I take your program, these people in the peripheral. That's when I would run through more beta clients, tweak the offer. Or it might not be an offer. It might not be something that can be strong enough that people want and that give people like phenomenal transformations that will build upon, word of mouth and referral. So that's that. Okay. If you get that and people are like, you have the raving reviews, the testimonials, the feedback, and the referrals start coming in, then you're in the gold. And from there, what I would do is I would take those feedback forms, and that is going to be language in which you are going to be able to communicate to other people, to speak the exact same language as people that have been through the program. So it really lands. In the document that I included below, you can click that link, and I even put in an AI prompt asking you a few more questions about the program. And then all you do is you plug in with the prompt the feedback that you got, and it will come up with a quote unquote sales page, basically a page of information detailing this offer. Here, I don't even say you have a website. I would just take that and plug it into like a Google Doc, or you can do a Canva PDF with a clickable link, a way in which people that are interested in working with you can book in with you for a call. So once you have that, this is where you ask for the referral. So you've just worked with 3 to 5 people, you've knocked it out of the park. They're already asking you how they can refer people to you. And you're like, here's the easiest way. So you give them this PDF document or Google Doc with a clickable link, setting up Acuity, Calendly, I think is another one. And then also Google Workspace now has like a scheduler link. Any way to like take the hassle or the resistance out of getting into a conversation with you, so that other people that are interested, that have been hearing about this, can meet you, see if this is the right program for you, and then go from there. So that is it. And from here, I say all this, and this is definitely like, how I built my business. And it was so refreshing to me. Not too long ago, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine that scaled his business from an initial 10K investment to 9 figures in 5 years. And he talked about the same thing, about starting small to go big. And he touched on something called what he likes to call exponential referrals. And he started talking about starting with the 3. And if you start at the 3 and you over deliver, and you give people phenomenal outcomes and results, and you have this phenomenal, irresistible offer, service, product, likelihood that those 3 people will each refer 3 people, which then becomes 9 people. Then you have those 9 people, same sort of service, and those 9 people become, 27 people, and on and on and on. So just to kind of break that down and just to do some like little mental math for a newer coach, you build that up, but this is the foundation. If you don't have proof of concept, you don't have a business yet. Don't start, get this first. When you have that, you should have referrals on repeat. And say we get to that 27, and that 27 year after year isn't, you can keep on getting those referrals coming in. If we look at like 30 clients a year, 30 clients, and say your program, your 3-month program is worth $3,000. So this is $90,000 a year. So it's definitely something that is not out of reach, but I believe it's not built up overnight. And it's built up by really honing in and focusing on the small to go big. Anyway, that's my kind of rant. I love this stuff. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out or even book a connection call. I love helping out new coaches. Yeah, this is all the stuff that I wish I knew when I started. So I hope this was valuable and useful. And again, just kind of breaking it down and creating your irresistible offer, testing it out, validating whether or not you have proof of concept, and then working the referrals. Pour into your people. I do really think the cream rises to the top, and you care more about your people than anyone else. This stuff just grows. It absolutely grows. Once you have money coming into your business, that's when you can consider like creating a website. You can have a fully sustainable business in coaching if you do this really simple model. And you might not want to do this really simple model forever, but you could do this forever and not even having a website and have this one offer on a Google Doc. So I share all this for a few reasons. Whenever I share this with new coaches, I notice that their shoulders just drop. And they're like, oh, yeah. Like it seems so simple and it's the most powerful and potent way to do it anyway. And yeah, I just see that they get going. They get going on it, and they can really start making the impact that they're here to make in the world. So anyway, that's my rant. I'm sure I missed some things, but I love this topic. So please, 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 if you're a new coach, let's have a chat. And who knows, maybe I'll be your coach to support you through this. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for today. Until next time, thank you so much for spending this part of your day with me. I love you. And go out and have an absolutely tremendous